Good morning, everyone. Steve the Technophile here, and I just wanted to give you another update on my AeroGarden. I've had a lot of questions regarding the system, and they've been really good questions that I never really thought I should be answering or kind of talking about in general about the unit. So I'm going to go a little bit more in depth and kind of answer some of the questions people have been messaging me on Instagram also about it, and hopefully I can give you a little bit more details. So this is the AeroGarden Elite in stainless steel, and if you watched my other videos, you can kind of find out if the stainless steel version is for you. It does leave a little bit of marks if you're touching it, as you can see here, some blemishes. So if you're kind of a neat freak like I am sometimes, you might want to go with a different color that doesn't mark up as much. But as you can see here, we are on day 47 with the AeroGarden, and these guys are growing like weeds. I've been pruning them almost every day, and I actually needed to raise the lights because they're just growing so fast. Time, as usual, is taking its time. But it smells wonderful, and I could probably start taking some of these pieces off, and it might speed up the overall growth of the herb. But pretty much, this was it was late compared to everybody else, but it's still growing well. Chives is doing pretty good too. I like to use a lot of chives, so I think in the future I'll probably plant more chives and less parsley. As you can see, the parsley is going crazy, and there's more curly parsley over here. We also have thyme, Genovese basil, Thai basil. This is the curly parsley, more Genovese basil, mint, and dill over here. I'll probably only print. I do a lot of 3D printing, so I have that in my head all the time. I'll probably only plant one parsley next time, just because it's growing again like a weed, and we really don't use that much. But I did get some pine nuts, and so tonight I'm going to try with all of this basil to make my own pesto for some pasta. Kind of excited about that. And with all the dill that is coming off this guy, I would like to start doing some pickling, maybe pickle some cucumbers. I've seen a lot of recipes online, and I'm going to give that a try. So at this point, at 47 days for these types of herbs, they're drinking a lot of water. People were asking, well, what kind of water can you use? You can use any water as long as it's probably not super hard. AeroGarden says you can use tap water, which is fine, but I use only distilled water. And one reason why I do that is because I use that in my humidifier and other machines that when you use regular water, you'll get calcification and a lot of weird deposits. I'm just hoping to kind of keep this machine cleaner longer, so that's why I've opted for distilled water. You can use filtered water, again, tap water, and yeah. So that's again why I'm using distilled, and why I suggest people use distilled, but it's not necessary. I'm probably going through a gallon of water, maybe 1.5 times a week in this guy. It's now in a high growth state, so the you can hear the fountain running. Well, I have a bubbler in there, but you can hear the fountain going every 30 minutes, I believe, for about 5 minutes. And as you can see, the roots are getting pretty crazy. The next cycle where I actually need to add food, I'm going to do a complete water exchange. So I'll empty this all out and wipe any stuff, any residue that's possibly building up from the nutrients. or from the roots. Just kind of clean that all up, clean the basin, fill it up with fresh water and food, and just keep going. Uh, I haven't had any issues with the Wi-Fi in a couple of days, which is nice. I know in my last review I was talking about how the Wi-Fi's been really crappy. I don't know if they pushed out a software update, um, or their servers have changed or anything. My Wi-Fi on my end has not changed. I haven't done anything. So I've been able to see this um, via Wi-Fi over the internet quite consistently since my last video. So don't know what's changed. It's not a necessity to have in your machine, but for me, I love connected devices. And I like that, if I'm not home and it for some reason needs water, I can let someone know, like, hey, can you give some water to the AeroGarden? Um, People are asking about the lights. These are programmed depending on whatever type of plant you put in there. So when you start uh, where it says quick plant in the middle button right there, it will ask you what type of items you're planting, and this light will adjust as needed. I think if you have lettuce in there, it stays on even longer. Um, and other people are asking, does this need to be in light? No, it doesn't. If I back out here, it's in a corner between windows that get light in the morning, but none of the light hits this directly. So you do not need light. I have a friend who's growing this up against a wall where no natural light hits it at all, and the grow lights are helping the seeds germinate within like 2 or 3 days. So if you receive no natural light in your home or wherever you're placing this, you'll be fine. People find that these lights sometimes are just too bright for certain rooms, and I saw a lady put this in a closet and she's been growing tomatoes in her closet with this thing. So I would just recommend making sure you do have some adequate airflow. You don't want stale air surrounding this, because that can lead to mold. I mean, you don't have to have a fan next to it, but open a window every once in a while. Turn on your ceiling fan or turn on your AC every once in a while. These plants love air movement. They love oxygen and all the other stuff in the air. They want to capture that and turn it into, energy. So I'm trying to think of the other question people were asking. Oh, so these are herbs. You cannot grow like carrots or anything else that typically wants to burrow into soil. I have seen people not put any water in here but soil and use the grow light to grow other types of, burrowing types of vegetables. There's tons of videos on YouTube where it talks about how you can plant other types of plants, but for me, I'm sticking with stuff that's kind of grow hydroponically. I don't want to use soil if I don't have to, and I'm really happy with the nutrients that AeroGarden is providing, and so far very happy with all the seeds that they've given me. Knock on wood, everything has been growing well. I haven't had any dead pods yet, and if a pod doesn't germinate, AeroGarden will replace it for free, so don't need to worry about that. And then other people are asking about the Botanium over here. If you're watching my last couple of videos on the AeroGarden, you'll see that this guy is growing huge. We've had to move the grow light up a little bit, and it's doing really, really well. It's already starting to flower, which is pretty cool. And these are banana peppers. So I did plant 3 seeds. All 3 seeds germinated in the Botanium. I took 2 out and left 1 in. And as you can see, we have a healthy stock. And it definitely loves the light is getting from the AeroGarden as much as this LED grow light. There are links in the description for the USB grow light. It's very low power. It can get a little warm depending on how high it's on, but you do have this really cool timer function, power. There's 1 through 4 light intensity, so there's 1, 2, 3, 4. I have it on 4 right now. You can turn it on and off whenever you want or leave it on the timer. And I have the same thing underneath here. Let me back up. There we go. I have the same thing underneath here. So this is helping these plants grow really, really well. My other botanium is this cayenne pepper, and it's huge. This is taking a cup and a half of water almost every 2 or 3 days. And as you can see, there are just cayenne peppers growing everywhere. Every morning I wake up and I'm like, okay, I'm going to count them. And there's just more magically popping up everywhere. So I know that this is kind of enjoying the extra light it's getting from the AeroGarden. But, once this kind of starts going, it goes. And the flowers smell really good. They don't have a cayenne pepper smell. They just kind of have like a clean, sweet smell. There's another pepper right there. Now, I was kind of pretending to be the bee, the pollinator. I was taking a Q-tip and touching each flower inside and moving the pollen around to each other flower. I stopped doing that because there's just so many peppers growing on this guy. And I think we're good. I don't know how long this thing is going to grow, but it's been a lot of fun. I think I've been growing this since November, and I had left for about a week and a half while it was in that stage over there. And I had a grow light, one of the USB grow lights over it, and I came back and the thing was huge. Oh, you can hear the water. It's self-watering every 3 hours. And if you watch my other videos, I talk more about the botanium, but it is hydroponics. That's not soil. It's just a substrate that lets the roots and nutrients flow through. Lets the nutrients flow through to the roots. But yeah, I could not be happier with the botaniums. They look really cool. There's a link in the description. And they do sell them on Amazon. They sell them on their website. It comes with a USB plug, so you can plug it into any USB powered item. It does come with an adapter for the United States. But yeah, I also have a little humidity and temperature gauge over here just to kind of see what's going on. And this has been producing so many herbs almost every day that I got this OXO container, and it has like a little packet in here to keep your food fresher longer. So I've been putting it all in here and using it every other day. So I recommend, if you're not going to be using herbs as much as I am, to get some sort of container to keep them around a lot longer. You can also freeze these herbs if you like. You can immediately dry them. You can do whatever you want. Every night I've been taking parsley off just to use as garnish. I've been using dill in my scrambled eggs. I use the chives in everything. So, but that's my little corner garden over here. I do have links in the description below for the AeroGarden on Amazon, on the botaniums. I have a link for the little Pico. Oh, so you can see it's watering. I have a link for the Pico USB powered air pump. It is not required, it is not necessary, but I think a little bit of oxygen added to the water makes a big difference. But again, it's not required at all. So I have links below. If you have any questions, feel free to let me know. I am a newbie at this, so I appreciate everybody else who's been kind of popping in and answering questions along with me. I really appreciate that. It helps everybody else be more informed about their purchases. All right, Grace. Well, thanks, and I will catch you all later. Have a great day.